It's telling me we are
Live.
live.
Okay. Hmm.
But that's a damn lie, apparently.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
Good God, is YouTube gonna give us crap? Oh, wait, here we go. There we go. Good gravy. Oh, YouTube. Why must you suck?
All right, it says we're live now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
All right. All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Count Jackula stream, the only stream that dares ask the question, did the right Michael Myers make Austin Powers? Tonight with us, as always, is my co-host, the Horror Guru,
Greetings,
and
everyone.
tonight we have a special guest, that Horror Whore. Go ahead and plug your channel.
Oh, well, hi everyone. My name is Lindsay, and I am that horror whore. I do horror movie reviews, top 10, and a lot of just random horror related things like unboxing. That's pretty much the gist of it.
A lot of the fans of the stream are going to need this little bit of information, which is yes, her name is also Lindsay. And the reason I have to say that is we used to work with someone named Lindsay. And so to avoid confusion, you are not the Lindsay we used to work with.
I am not, no. Not that I recall.
So tell us, like, what first got you into horror? What was the big thing, the precipitating event?
Honestly, I don't even think I had a choice.
Oh, really?
It was 100% my mom. She grew up on horror movies, like not like her parents making her watch it. She found it like somehow on her own. And she used to scare her older and younger sister by watching like Twilight Zone. And sometimes like she'd get them in the basement and lock them in the basement. Like she was creepy, kind of morbid lady. And so yeah, like from when I was born to like when I start having like memories was horror movies just were always on. It was just the norm in my house. So, like my sister, she likes horror movies, but she gets scared very easily, where I'm still like on the quest for that movie that's going to scare me.
Nice.
And yeah, it's all in our family. John still isn't so much on that page quite yet. He'll watch one every now and then with me, but pretty much all day, every day, it's just horror movies are always on my TV.
And John is your
My fiance, yeah.
man, like my grandmother was into horror. It's very odd. Both my grandmothers were into horror, but in very different ways. My mother's mother was very into like the old Roger Corman drive-in, like Vincent Price, Peter Cushing films.
Yeah.
And her favorite soap opera was Dark Shadows. I think that if that had not stopped broadcasting, that would have been what she watched every day. I remember, like, when she got a VCR and they started putting those things on tape, she bought all of them. She had an entire shelf. Every episode of Dark Shadows had been broadcast in the 60s. And it was just kind of amazing to behold. And when they did, in the late 80s, early 90s, they tried to do this Dark Shadows revival show. And she bought all those episodes too, but she was always like, not so much. Not so much. My father's mother was really into who's Chinese, was really into telling scary Chinese ghost stories before I went to bed.
Oh. See, those would be the good ones.
Oh man, they're so weird. Like they never how to put it, like you never fucking realize how strange these stories are until you step back. There's a kind of there's an otherworldliness to a Chinese ghost story that you don't find in the West. It's very strange because in the West, a ghost is a strange thing out in the middle of nowhere. where people fear to tread and everyone avoids. In Chinese ghost stories, ghosts just fucking show up.
They're just pure evil without any like real reason sometimes.
Yeah, they just do shit. It's just sort of like the one day there was a knock at the door and a man came in and said, "I am your uncle. And it is the feast of whatever, so you have to make dinner for me." And so he eats the entire dinner, and then the family's like, "This is really weird." And the father's like, "I think he's a ghost." And so they're like, "I'll throw rice at him and see what happens." And now bear in mind, like, this is a progression that happens in Asian ghost stories, and you're like, all right, guy shows up, demands something, family gives it to them, then someone throws rice at them. That is a very common progression. At what point does any of that make any sort of sense? It's never set up, it's not explained, it just works. So you throw a sticky rice at a guy, and he has to tell you whether he's a ghost or not. And he's like, "Oh, you're right, I'm a ghost. Well, now I have to answer 3 requests. So what's it gonna be?" The guy's like, "Well, I want to be, my family's poor and I want to be rich." He's like, "All right, I can make you really rich, but there's gonna be a cost. Or I could make you well off and it'll be okay." And the father, being a wise man, to say like, "Well, I think just being okay will be fine." He goes, "Oh, that is the correct answer. Now you get all the treasure." And they go on like that. They get really weird. Like, people are wandering into the underworld. They have to steal things from the ministers of hell. It's just this very, very bizarre storytelling. It has its own tropes, and they're all truly bizarre and cultural. And I just love them. It's why I love watching like Asian horror movies, because you're watching them and like, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. My first instinct, anytime I see a ghost, is just throw rice at them. Clearly.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that just the norm?
Obviously.
God, if only they tell people in Paranormal Activity that, they probably could save themselves a lot of trouble.
Hey, it was not a ghost.
Okay? Oh, that's right.
Toby was a demon. Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
My girlfriend Christy would probably agree with me on this one, that the first thing that we do if we hear and or see a ghost is first instinct is to grab our phone, because you've got to get this on tape. Just sit really quiet and still. Don't move. Don't make a sound.
Yeah, but then you start hearing the sound from one missed call and realize you made a huge mistake.
Yeah. Actually, seriously, and if I can find it, or if she can send it to me, I would love to send that to you. Like, the house that she lives in is 150% haunted. Like, she hears, like, and she has a recording of it. There's, like, footsteps, like, creaking outside of their bedroom door. Terrifying. But it's so awesome because I'm like, yes, finally somebody else believes me, because her boyfriend that she lives with, he's been my friend since I was like 3 years old. And I used to spend so many nights in that house, and nobody ever believed me that I heard like footsteps and all of this. And I'm like, no, that house is 100% haunted. And now everyone else is starting to hear these things, and they're getting behind me. I'm like, see, I wasn't crazy. I wasn't making this stuff up.
Yeah, I have no idea what the phenomenon of ghost is. But some of my favorite story, I think, of a haunted house came from a guy who he was a really interesting paranormal investigator, because he was one of the few guys that they were like, "You ever seen a ghost?" He's like, "Nope, I haven't. But I've had weird shit happen to me that I can't explain." But if we're talking like seeing like a ghost like in a movie, like, no, that's never happened. But he tells the story of being in this one house. And the house has this history of killing the investigators that come to look at it. There'd been like 3 deaths of paranormal investigators come to look at the house, and they died the next day. And he looked into it, and he was like, well, how did they all die? And it was like, yeah, they all died in the foyer, obviously having fallen down the stairs.
So stay out of the foyer.
Yeah. Well, what he decided to do was practice going up and down the stairs, holding onto the railing. Because obviously what is happening is like people are tripping and falling for whatever reason. So he's like, all right, I'm going to make sure that that doesn't happen to me if it comes down to it. And the first day is really normal. The second day, a book comes out of the shelf. He pushes it back in, and it comes back out. So he takes it, and everyone's like, what was the book? And he was like, it was like the Boy Scouts handbook of like 1954. It was nothing, you know, but I kept it. But he's like, but then later, the third night, you know, calm night outside, but for some reason there is this incessant rattling sound and that he can't really explain. There's like a banging and a clattering, and he can't explain it because he doesn't know where it's coming from. It's a big old place. So he's like, okay, that could be anything. All of a sudden, one of the bangs catches him by surprise, and he calls out. He's like, ah! All of a sudden, the room begins to clatter and shake. And he's like, I have no idea what's going on. I am out of here. And so he runs out, starts going down the stairs, remembers to grab the banister. And as he does, he trips. But because he's holding onto the banister, he doesn't clamber down the stairs and break his neck. But at that point, he just leaves all his equipment behind, and then just gets out of there, comes back next day and retrieves it. And so he's always like, so I've never seen a ghost, but that is as close as I've come to a paranormal experience. I don't know what it was. It was definitely weird.
That is.
Yeah, heard
I
that.
don't know. You'll find a lot of like naysayers about ghosts and that sort of thing, but I don't know. I'm 100% behind it. I mean, the idea had to come from somewhere.
Yeah. Well, to me, I'm not convinced that ghosts specifically exist, but
in that case, when I die, I'm gonna haunt the crap out of you.
Oh, please do. Like
Okay.
that'd be
that'd be
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if ghosts exist, but I do believe that whatever the phenomena is that people call ghosts is something people are perceiving. You know, and I don't think that they're all insane, but there's a little bit there's a quote from Alan Moore that I like to use because I actually agree with it. You know, which is, you know, magic, religion, ghost encounters, demons, all those things, absolutely real, as long as you understand that it is happening in people's minds. And when he says that, he's not like, oh, poo-poo, that thing's not real. He's like, no, it's real in here. It is real. Like, you know, kind of like the end of Harry Potter. You know, when Dumbledore's like, oh, come on, Harry, you know, am I imagining this Dumbledore or is it real? What's the difference, Harry? There's no difference. Not in here. You know? And I actually I agree with that. Like, I don't know what the factual, physical truth is, but I do believe that people are experiencing these things. You know,
well, there's so many comments coming in now.
Oh, what do we got?
We've got a lot. I don't know. Start feeding through those things. Everybody is apparently noticing, like, Guru, what happened to your head? You have no hair.
Oh, man. Tell the tale.
All right. This right here is the result of a tragic trimming accident. All right.
Oh, no.
All right, because I was going to get a haircut on Monday, but someone tried to steal my bank account number, so my card got canceled, and I have to wait for a new card to be sent to me. So I decided, hey, since I can't go get a haircut because I don't have any cash on me, I will trim my own hair. And Jack happened to have one of those electric razors, and he happened to have one that has a bunch of little attachments, so I don't have to trim it too much. So I attach one of those attachments. I get my hair all nice and trimmed and stuff. But the razor starts to have some issue because it starts getting clogged up. So I take off the attachment. I clean it all off. I run some water through my hair, and I see that there's a patch in the back of my head that still needs some trimming. So I grab the razor, I go and trim it, and I'm like, oh man, I'm glad I cleaned it up. This is working really fucking well. But I realized I had forgot to put the attachment back on.
Yep, you did.
And as a result, I had this nice little patch right back here, all shaven off. So at that
Mhm.
point, it was either leave it and look like a complete idiot or shave it all off and make it even. So that's what I did. And that is why I am now Uncle Guru Fester. That's
You know what? It happens to everyone. Like I cut John's hair in our dining room, and he has like the craziest cowlick in the middle of his head. So I told him we should do like one of those faux hawk sort of situations, but not like drastic faux hawk, not like Abercrombie faux hawk, but like a nice one. So, anyways, I trimmed it up, and there was like a couple of hairs near like the temple peaks that you guys have.
mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh, like what number do you use over here?" And I said, "I was like, oh, I use a 3." He's like, "Okay, I'm just going to trim up this one hair." So if you look at the heads that you put on, like the guards that you put on the electric razors, the number in the middle is usually hollow, right? Like the big giant number, which would be a 3, and it's a hollow number. You can see through it. He decided to read the tiny little microscopic millimeter number over on like the bottom right hand corner of the guard. So he took one that's like 3 levels shorter and just took a square off the side of his head. So we ended up having to correct that. There was a
Ouch.
lot of he had a nice fade going on. So it happens to everyone. Don't worry. I feel you.
Well, I feel a little better knowing that I'm not alone in this predicament.
You are not.
Oh man. Yeah, that well the thing is that I think that's happened to like everybody who does anything shaving their head at one point. At one point you're just gonna be bald.
Yeah, most
You know.
definitely.
You know.
Oh wow. I hope not.
No, yes, at some point you're probably gonna get the Sinead O'Connor.
I
But
always
I
refer to
don't
it as
think
the
I
Alien
could
3.
rock that though.
You
My
don't?
forehead's already so big. Like I feel like if there's no hair there at all, it'll just look like it keeps going and going and going. I am not Sinead O'Connor, and I am not Sigourney Weaver. I don't think I can pull it off.
Fair enough. We could also go with the Natalie Portman.
See, but Natalie Portman, like my God, she can do pretty much anything. She can't do any wrong.
True.
Yeah, my problem, the reason I'm kind of glad that I'm not going to lose my hair is a bit, when I did shave it all off, I look like this weird, like, angry Buddhist monk, which is kind of awesome, but at the same time, I'm like, that's not really the look I'm going for. No. Like, I was kind of hoping I would look like some sort of awesome, angry kung fu master. No.
Jimmy Lamb wants me to establish that girls with shaved heads are beautiful. So there we go. It has been established. All right.
I don't know. I've done like both shaved sides. I'm pretty much shaved like very close to the back, but I still have to have something that can give me like a bang or something like that. Should I desire it? Because yeah, no, like serious 5 head people. It's bad. It's big.
Oh,
And I'm
man.
totally behind everyone backing Josh doing the Sinead O'Connor. Nothing compares to you. Oh,
Oh
that would
man.
be. I don't even want lip.
I don't know
syncing.
if I could.
I want you to actually sing it.
recreate her charms, so to speak.
No. This is what you need to do. You need to be like fucking Björk in that Hunter video.
Oh,
because
Jesus.
then at the very least, if it doesn't fucking make any sense, everyone will be like, well, yeah, but he's doing Björk, you know. Like,
She's like,
Aren't we all
it's
doing
fine.
Björk?
I saw the weirdest interview on Space Ghost Coast to Coast with Björk. That was completely surreal because
I feel like a lot of interviews can start off with the weirdest interview on Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
yeah, well, this one was like particularly odd because Björk was at her most Björk. Because she wasn't just like answering questions. She had like a veil on and was like, "Hi, I am from Iceland.
Oh shit, I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just like, this is weirder than normal. This is weirder than normal for both this show and Björk.
Now, did either of you guys watch like SNL like back in like the 90s?
Oh yeah.
I did, yeah.
There was an episode of Jeopardy that they had somebody being Björk on Jeopardy.
I remember that, yeah.
I can't, like, I'm going to have to say a word that I don't like to say, but there was a line where like, she said something and it made no sense, and the Alex Trebek, Will Ferrell, was like, "Are you Icelandic or retarded?" And I feel like, oh, yeah, Björk, most of her sentences are not cohesive. None of it makes sense. There's like 3 different thought concepts just rammed in there together.
Tony Goldmark in the chat wanted to specify that Björk is the conceit is supposed to be that Björk is Space Ghost's wife in that episode. So,
yes.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, how you doing? I am all right. I'm going to go to the shop.
That was spot on.
God, I still remember that video she did where like her husband was a cat. that was special.
Oh, we got a question in the chat. Nana wants to know what our favorite Björk songs are, and I don't really have one because I'm not really a Björk fan. So, what do you guys have?
Nothing.
The Hunter.
There you go.
So we'll all of us will just say that one.
Just say The Hunter. It's
It's what Jack said.
If it's good enough for Jack, it's good enough for us.
It's got the line. I mean, it's got the line. I thought I could organize freedom. How Scandinavian of me.
Nice.
Oh man. So I gotta ask. Like, so you said earlier that you're always looking for that movie that's actually gonna scare you. So are you saying that that's never happened? You've never been like terrified, run the closet for like even for 5 minutes kind of thing?
That has never happened. There has been like some movies like where afterwards that I was like genuinely creeped out. Like after I saw, it was the remake of The Ring.
Oh, the American one?
When I saw that and I went home, I was sitting and I was talking to my sister and her then boyfriend, now husband. And I was saying, I was like, this movie, like it was actually kind of creepy. They had the TV on and a Theory of a Dead Man video came on, where in the middle of the video it cuts out and he gets a phone call. So I heard the phone ringing and I just started screaming. It scared the bejesus because it was kind of quiet and I had no idea like where's this phone ringing coming from. And yeah, so that it had a good creep effect after I watched the movie, but during the movie it had almost to no effect on me. Paranormal Activity, the very first one, didn't scare me when I watched it until I went to crawl into bed. And I'm looking at my ceiling. And I have that, like, the ceiling attic in my bedroom. And I always sleep with, like, 1 foot outside of the covers. And I was, like, looking at the attic, and I'm like, not so much. And, like, the foot just slowly came back up underneath the covers.
Yeah, I have a very similar story with Paranormal Activity. I actually saw it at an early screening at the Castro Theater in San Francisco before the Demand It campaign started. It was right before that, and it was hosted by Harry Knowles of Ain't It Cool News. And none of us had any idea what the movie was going in. We just knew that we were given these free passes while we're at film school to go see this random movie. We didn't know what it was. Paranormal Activity. I think we kind of knew what the name was, but that was about it. And we watched the movie, and the theater experience for that movie pretty much matched all the trailers we would see later about the movie. So when everyone says like, "Oh, they faked those trailers," no, that was pretty much what my experience was in that theater watching that movie. In fact, we were one of the ones recorded for that. But like afterwards I got all like, oh man, movie's not really that scary. And then when I got home, every little sound my apartment made freaked me the fuck out and I couldn't sleep all night.
Oh.
Also, Jack, start talking.
All right. Yeah, for me it was Blair Witch because the original because I was it was one of those like everyone was talking about like oh my god this is the greatest thing ever this is terrifying, and so me and my buddy Jace went to see it at the Bridge Theater down on Van Ness in San Francisco, and we were like all right, we watch it, we got a little nauseous, and we were like oh that was okay, but like wasn't that scary. And then we get back to the apartment, turn off the lights, immediately turn them back on. We're like, nope, 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 we're not turning off the lights. No, not tonight. No, it's not happening. Just not happening. Forget it. You know, my girlfriend was at the time was it was Linda, yeah, who fucking, she's like, what is wrong with you? And we're like, we just saw Blair Witch. We're just no, no. We're okay. We're okay. We're fine. We're fine. What was that noise? There was no noise. What the hell's wrong with you guys?
I feel so bad for the chat right now.
How come?
That one.
Because when I was talking, your mic, because Skype automatically adjusts the volume, was picking me up. So when you screamed "all right," it was at like the highest possible volume it could be, and all of their ears are now bleeding.
Oops.
Yep.
We apologize. We apologize.
Yeah. At least it's not my voice that's making people's ears bleed this time. So I mean that's positive.
Apparently my voice causes seizures. God damn it. I don't know why, but Windows keeps automatically adjusting the volume of my microphone even though I keep telling it not to.
Skype does that.
Oh, that's Skype?
Skype will automatically adjust to pick up your volume at a reasonable thing. So every time I talk, it adjusts it to hear me.
Oh.
Which is why I mute my microphone when you're talking.
Got it. Okay.
Should I be doing that too?
No, it's not going to do it to you. It's because Jack and I are in the same room. And
gotcha. Oh, that's what you keep looking at.
Yes.
I'm slow. Maybe I should go back blonde.
Oh wait, hold on. Automatically adjust microphone settings? I think not. All right. Every day, every stream, we learn a little bit more. All right.
Hopefully it won't do that now.
Yeah. Hopefully it will now at least stay at a nice even keel.
Yeah.
Go ahead, stream. Tell us if it is working, because we like it. We like the audio to be nice
and not ear bleeding.
Yeah.
At least not unless we intentionally want your ears to bleed, because you know us, we like it's the blood.
Yep. So if you're bleeding, it needs to be intentional. Otherwise,
though I'm not sure if we would pick ears to bleed from. You know, they're better orifices.
Well, yeah.
Can I choose none of the above? Can I take a 0?
Fair enough.
Oh man! By the way, speaking of which, I'm looking forward to your new rating system.
You enjoy that, do you?
I do.
That rating system was glorious. I was laughing my ass off watching that video. It was awesome.
One of the first comments that I got was somebody saying, so your first guest is going to be Jackula? I'm like, what? You guys just assume because we're both perverted? That is audacious.
Well, Jack has kind of made a name for himself with the gorgasm thing, so that's probably what tipped everyone off, yeah.
Oh, see, and there's a girl that I follow that like on Instagram that is gorgasm, and there's is it like a 90s rock, well, like death metal, I guess.
Yeah, there is
gorgasm.
Yeah,
just a lot of people on horror YouTube associate it with Jack just because Jack did a couple bits where he literally has a gorgasm on screen. And
where I literally ejaculate blood in my face. Yeah,
was one of them. I feel like your slasher guy was in that scene.
There was one.
Your Jason guy.
Oh yeah, Mass Slasher. Yeah, I think he was in one of those.
Because I think that was one of the first videos I ever saw of you, and I was like, this guy's great. This guy is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I think the first time I did Gorgasm was top 13 gooder movies, because the number one movie on that list was Piranha 3D.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I loved that movie was amazing, and I was really shocked that it didn't usher in like a new era of like boobs and blood movies
Yeah,
because
I guess people just don't get like what horror really is.
A lot of the normies
yeah,
don't. That's for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. People kept saying like, "Oh, it was campy," and then like almost everyone that I knew that wasn't like a diehard horror fan, the first thing that they brought up was Jerry O'Connell's penis and the piranha like essentially burping it up.
Yes.
Which was such a great moment.
Oh my god.
Hilarious, right? That was like
Defining
the
moment of the
only
movie.
time that I ever want to see Jerry O'Connell's penis is that moment right there.
And the other thing I like about that moment is it's about time we got some more dicks on screen with these movies, you know?
Right? I think like the most notable one that I ever knew, and it was also probably the first one I ever saw, was Ghost Story. And I
Oh
was
yeah, I remember
incredibly
that
young.
movie.
And because it flaps in the wind, like it's very shocking. Like I was probably like 6 or 7 when I saw that. So it's a surprise even to this day that I am not a lesbian, because that right there will turn you off forever. Any females listening, do not watch Ghost Story if you haven't already.
You have been warned.
Yes, thank you.
I think that's actually one that I haven't seen actually.
It's a long one, and it's like a slower, like the traditional. I think it's a 70s horror movie, but I was incredibly young, and I heard Ghost Story, and I was like, I want to watch this one. So I had my mom bring it home, and yeah, no, the first couple of like it's within like the first 10 minutes of the film, and it's like just flapping in the wind.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, I'm seeing it now in my mind.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like, it was really weird. Like, we heard this story, an interview by the guy who directed Piranha 3 Double D, which, in case you're wondering, close to a B cup, really.
Yeah.
Um, but what was really sad was that he signs on to do the Piranha 3D sequel with the intention of doing everything he can to outdo Alex Aja, because that's what's going to be demanded of him. And so he's like, yeah, okay, like we got all these ideas. We're going to do this. It's going to be in a water park. And then this is going to happen. And there's going to be like, fish flying all over the place, ripping people's heads off. And, we're going to watch like a guy fuck a fish girl. And like, he's just going crazy. And they tell him, yeah, we need you to use less gore, no dick, no tit, but go farther. It's like, what? I can't, everything that I could go farther with in a Piranha movie, you just said no to. But he had already signed on, so he's like, well, I have to make the movie now. But they kept interfering with production. And you're like, oh, that's why that movie feels like so off. That's why it feels so watered down from the first one.
Because someone in the production literally wanted it that way. So.
Yeah. We want this to make more money, but it's going to cost more, have less appeal.
Yep.
Yeah. That was the thing that was crazy about Piranha 3D, because the whole reason I saw that was a couple friends who were in town. They were like, oh, we're going to go see Piranha 3D. And I was like, oh, okay, sure, I'll see a movie. Because I was just absolutely convinced it was going to be total garbage. Like, oh, it's going to be one of those bullshit fucking 3D movies. And I get there, and I'm like noticing that the theater is filling up. This is like the last showing of this movie, and people have shown up. I'm like, there are a lot of people here for the last showing of a 3D horror movie in like fucking the 2000s. And they were like, yeah, we've heard nothing but good things. I watch it and I'm like, that was amazing. But there was that feeling of like, what did I just watch, and how was I able to see this in a theater? I feel like I should have watched that on cable or video. You know, much like Slither. You know, it's like I saw that in a theater.
Oh yeah, yeah. I kind of wish Slither had gotten the awesome response that Piranha 3D got too,
Oh
because
yeah,
would have
yeah.
done wonders for Gunn's career back in the day. But hey, at least he got Guardians.
Yeah. Well, someone recognized his talent. That was the important bit.
Most definitely.
I'm still looking forward to the Soska sisters like take on Painkiller Jane, or if they ever do
Me
that
too.
second American Mary movie.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah,
American Mary, it took me a while to finally get to see it because like I wanted to support the Soska sisters, so I didn't want to download it. So I waited and waited and waited until I finally got a copy of it, and it was totally worth it. That movie, it's beautiful.
It's great. Yeah, American
It
Mary
looks
is great.
so nice. And I think that the casting, I cannot picture somebody else in Catherine Isabel's position in that movie.
No. Like there are very few people I think could pull that off.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so apparently they're planning. They don't know if they'll get to do it, but they're actually planning a trilogy. Like this was supposed to be like their trilogy of like body modification movies and they're all supposed to be in the same universe when they're done if they get to do them. You know, one is, strangely enough, one of the movies is supposed to be about the doctor whose party she went to. Like he has a whole story.
Oh.
And I'm like,
this has popped up a couple times in the chat. Some Connor Logan wants to know how we all feel about the Horror Amino app.
I just posted this live stream on there.
There you go.
I am cell phone incompetent, so
It's true. He really is.
yeah. It doesn't help that I have like a really cruddy Virgin smartphone that doesn't have very good connectivity. So every time I try to do something on the phone, it's like any minute now. I swear it's gonna happen.
We need to get you just a simple Samsung tablet or something like that.
Well, actually, like what I'd like to do, and this might be possible in the near future, is to get like a Galaxy or something. At least get on the 4G network.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, maybe get a family plan for the house and just do it that way. That'd be great. But until that happens, fucking Snapchat is an impossibility. I can't use Snapchat on this goddamn thing.
I remember trying to use it and then realizing I had no use for it, so there you go.
Well, here's the thing. Like, it automatically hooked me up with a bunch of people I knew, and I'm like, oh, hey, all these people. Awesome. I'll Snapchat away. Take a picture. Just send it. Go. God damn it. You know, like, yeah, this... Not so much. Not so much with this. I'm amazed this thing does Twitter right.
Yeah, you're not missing a whole lot on Snapchat. For the most part, like my sister just sends me like short little videos of like my nephews, and I send her clips of my dogs.
Yeah, but
That's
that horror amino thing I'm very interested in. But of course, like,
it's kind of cool because the only people there, like we're on Twitter, like horror people will find you, but on Horror Amino, the only people there are horror people. So you're not scrolling past stuff that has nothing to do with horror and all that kind of like to find the good stuff.
So it's like absolutely you're interested in this, so you want to watch, you want to look at it.
And there's like people taking polls, like voting for your favorite kill out of Friday the 13th or your favorite killer doll. Those are like two that Blood Bath and Beyond has done. And people just posting like, I don't even know, like I always call them GIFs. Are they GIFs? Or GIFs?
Yeah, GIFs, whatever. I always
called them GIFs, but I get yelled at by people for calling them GIFs, even though they've been GIFs my whole fucking life. People,
yeah.
What the fuck?
It's a GIF, so whatever. Get on board with us. We're the ones that are right.
There you go.
But yeah, no, everything that's on there is just like you can just scroll through the feed, and it's like having a Facebook of however many friends that you decide to follow, but every single post from every one of your Facebook friends is horror related. That's essentially what it is.
Which honestly would be a whole lot better than normal Facebook or Twitter. So I might have to check it out at some point.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're having sushi again. Sweet. Thanks for showing me your dinner.
Oh man. Although speaking of sushi, I gotta find a
Oh.
copy of Dead Sushi.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, speaking of sushi, I could go for some right now, and I totally could.
Oh, I
but I
could
could
always
not
do that.
take a picture of it. That's the difference.
Yeah. No, I want to see Dead Sushi. I haven't seen that movie yet.
Oh yeah,
Sushi
I definitely
kills
want to see
people.
that. I really want to see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing that's made me really sad about the dropping of the lack of popularity of home video releases now.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
DVDs and Blu-rays don't sell as much as they do, and movies are doing better on streaming services and stuff like that. It's actually given people who import movies less incentive to import them. So there's like a ton of Japanese movies where in the mid 2000s we would be getting them all on home video and translated that we don't see anymore.
Yeah.
Because of that. So I have a feeling it's gonna result in us having to go back to the bootleg system of the 90s.
I think so. Like, I think I'm gonna have to like torrent most of those and hope that I can find a subtitle translation thing.
That or find copies from other English-speaking countries that might have translated it. So
Idea, yeah. Yeah, it's really frustrating when you're like, "Hey, take my money, please." Wait, there's no one to take my money, and then they're all like, "We're not making money," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's funny how if I can't get you the money, you can't get the money."
Well, like, for myself personally, like, I essentially have, for the most part, two means of getting horror movies, like, purchasing them. Like, for Canadian Netflix, if you guys don't know, sucks for horror movies.
Yeah,
yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
And if for, say, Amazon, I have to use Amazon.ca because I don't have an American credit card or PayPal account.
Ooh.
So you can only use those if you have like a US address that is associated to either a credit card or a PayPal account, where I have a US address, but it's not associated to either account. There's no reason for it to be. So I can't use Amazon.com. So I have to use Amazon.ca, and same as Netflix Canada, there is a short supply of horror movies on there. And none of those are ever on eBay. So I end up on like trading sites and stuff like that, and just looking for people like, hey, if you can grab this and send it to me, I'll send you this, and that type of thing.
Nice.
I was really excited. Actually, something that we could do. I was really excited to find out that Blu-ray players, particularly ones that you stick in a computer, you can set the region for a Blu-ray player. You can change it 5 times and then it locks. So if you buy another one, you could set it to a different region, which is probably something I'm going to be doing, because there are a lot of French and Asian films I want to cover that simply aren't being distributed in. Like one of them is Livid or Livid, which
I wanted to see that for so long.
Yeah. We could probably actually do that tonight because I finally got the subtitles working.
Oh, maybe we can do a vlog on it.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, like that was done. That was the movie that was done by the guys who did Inside. They did that one afterwards, I think. It is the Inside guys, right? The Inside Julia's
Live
Eyes?
it? Yeah, that was Inside. Yeah.
Okay. Julia's Eyes is a Spanish film, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Julia's Eyes is done by the people who did The Orphanage. Livid is done by the people who did Inside.
I can't remember if Julia's Eyes was the same director, but it was definitely the same producers, I believe.
Yeah, which was the Del Toro.
Yeah.
I want to meet Guillermo del Toro so bad just so I can look in his house. Just seeing photos of the inside of that man's house is just like, how dare you live every kid's dream. He lives in like, just seeing pictures of it, it's like it's the dream house every like 10-year-old horror fanboy has, with the exception
And
fangirl, yes. And fangirl has, with the exception of the monster pit. You make this mistake of annoying me. You go in the monster pit.
I want a monster pit.
Yeah, me too.
Oh wait, does
Well,
that make
you
me
guys still
Jabba the
have
Hutt
one?
now?
Maybe it's just a Canadian thing with real estate. Everyone I know has one.
Oh, they all have monster pits? God damn.
Yes, everyone.
Okay, to the cartoon physicist naughty list in the chat. Fuck yeah, I am looking forward to Yoga Hosers.
Yeah, Yogo's is great. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead. We'll continue talking, but to the chat, like, we'll do the question and answer period. You can ask us any question. We will try to get to as many of them as possible. Keep them coming. If we don't get to them, there will always be a next time, so don't worry about it.
I keep seeing some, and then we get into another topic, and
Yeah, that's what happened. What usually the way it works is that I and the guest chatter on, and Josh is like, "Okay, guys, like we gotta get to the next question."
Pretty much. That's usually how it operates.
Hey, that's how it is when I do videos myself, and it's just me. I have nobody to remind me.
All right, chat. Start pouring the questions in, and I'll start, asking them. All right, Mission
Can I take
XXX. Okay.
A ladies' break before we do this?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go right for it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go take a ladies' break.
Quick ladies' break.
Quick ladies' break. All right, chat. Just so you know, she is taking a ladies' break, and we will be answering questions in a minute. So try not to let the questions pile up too much in wake of this. Oh man. All righty then. All right.
God.
GL Knight wants to say that that was an obscure Pit reference, Jack. So I think he's congratulating you. Holy shit, the questions are coming in now. Oh God, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna answer a bunch of them. And
Some douchebag named Rocked Reviews wants to know what a ladies' break is.
When she's either got to pee, change a tampon, or go poopy.
And listen to Simple Plan.
Owned. What was that other band you threatened to send to him if he didn't do Simple Plan?
I'm pretty sure it was Good Charlotte, and he did that.
Yes.
Sorry, Luke. We love you. Oh, man. The questions are piling up now. Oh, my God. I feel sorry for the people at home right now that are watching this later going like, we can't read the questions. We don't know what's going on.
No, this is a bunch of... That's the way we roll down here.
Oh, Rock Reviews actually mentioned something pretty good. Just a reminder to everyone out there, if you are in the Maryland area, come February 17th through the 22nd, we are going to be at MagFest, and you can come see us and rub my bald head yourself. But don't actually do that. I might kill you.
Horror Guru, Rock Reviews, The Rock Critic,
Yep.
Kaluna of Kaluna Reviews,
Yep.
Yomars, and several other... The
Rap Critic.
The Rap Critic's going to be there. Y'all know who we're talking about.
Leon Thomas of the Renegade Cut's going to be there. It's
Yep.
a whole lot of people.
Yep, I believe he has a panel set up for us that we're all going to be in attendance at. I don't know how that's going to work.
The panel got denied, so there's not going to be a Channel Awesome panel, unfortunately.
Well, that is complete balls.
Yeah, it is, unfortunately.
All right, well, so
but he tried. He tried to get us a panel.
Yeah, he tried to get us a panel. All right, well then we're gonna have to go with Plan B, which I think is Drunken Party.
Drunken Party, it is. Woo!
I'm almost there.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
I also had to grab a new beer, and I actually wanted to let you guys know I picked this up with you guys in mind today.
Oh, what is it?
It is an Iron Maiden Trooper.
Awesome.
Beer. It's a premium British beer, apparently. But as soon as I saw Iron Maiden, I was like, "Aw." Yeah, I'm gonna get that for tonight.
Oh man, can you show us?
You know what? I will take a photo and I will send that to you. I'll tweet it and I'll put
Okay.
it on
Alrighty
Instagram.
then. While she's doing that, let's get this question party started. All right. Josh Fielding asks, has anyone seen or read Berserk? If so, what do you think? I'm quite a fan of that anime. I have not read the manga though, so I do not.
Negative.
I've read some of the manga. I've seen some of the anime. I haven't watched the whole thing. I own the whole thing, but I haven't watched the whole thing.
That anime is a classic. That's
It is.
fucking
It
good.
is. It's a late classic too. You know,
Yeah.
like I was surprised that an anime like that was done like in the 2000s.
Yeah.
You know, because that was the kind of thing back in the 90s anime was doing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, because it's one of the last, it's also one of the most extreme. Whoa.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of love about it.
So violent.
It's brutal as shit.
Yeah, and I like the fact that even though there is a romance between Berserk and the girl, we all know that the real romance is between Berserk and Falcon.
Oh yeah.
That's the real sexual tension, because that is all so much about like muscly guys that you're like, this is the gayest thing ever. It's a really violent, gay sword and sandals movie. You know, this is great.
Most definitely. All right, Mission XXXXX asks, repeat question just in case. On the last stream, you guys quickly discussed Jeffrey Combs, and I wanted to ask you all what your favorite of his performance is. For me, I fucking love him in The Frighteners.
Oh, yes.
With the Reanimator coming in a close second. So
yeah, Reanimator is the first one that comes to mind with me, but I love You're in My Territorial Bubble from
Absolutely.
The Frighteners. That is one of the best moments of that movie, for sure.
I don't know which performance I prefer, but there are two lines, one from each of those movies, that I am like, to me, that is the perfect Jeffrey Combs. One is, my God, they're using tools. And
yeah, I love that line.
And the other is from The Frighteners, which is, my body is a roadmap of pain.
Good
All
call.
Right. Navigator True asks, what is the most evil beer? Seeing as I don't drink it, I am not qualified. So what about you guys?
I had one last Halloween, and I did take pictures of it, and they're on my Instagram somewhere. It in Toronto, Ontario, there is a brand of beer that's called Mill Street, and they had a special pumpkin beer that came out around Halloween that was called A Nightmare on Mill Street.
That is awesome.
And it was actually pretty delicious. I'm not gonna lie about that. I'm picky when it comes to beers, so it got my 2 thumbs up.
To me, the most evil beer. Yeah, I think that there's a difference between wicked and evil. Wicked is kind of cool, but when it comes to beer, if a beer is evil, then it's like, nah, this is doing something bad to you. Oh. And for me, that would be Coors Light, because not only is it unsatisfying, it's also homophobic.
No.
Fuck Coors Light.
And you know what? Also, in that theme, I have Coors Banquet in the fridge. Tall boys of Coors Banquet.
Hey, none
there you
wrong,
go. I'm
none
a
wrong
girl.
with a tall boy.
I'm a girl, and I'm more of a fan of Coors Banquet, the original Coors.
Oh, man.
Alrighty then. Chloe Malvier. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name. I am terrible at pronunciations. They ask, anyone seen Southbound? And I've heard of this movie, but I have not seen it, and I really don't actually know what it's about. So I don't know.
Horror, have you seen it?
No. Me
neither. I don't
South,
think any
I'm
of
like
us
Southpaw?
Well, I think it's safe to say that movie has officially landed on our list of things to look up after this. So there we go.
Huh.
Alrighty then. What else do we got here?
Can I jump to another question? Because I feel like this might be directed at me.
Sure, go for it.
Go for it.
Nana, I'm sorry, I can't say your last name. Amua, maybe, possibly, is the about thing regional, and the about / about, they're in parentheses. And it's a boat.
Boot.
They correct it, so I think they're commenting on my Canadian accent. Because apparently I say a boot instead of saying about. Does it?
That's
I
actually
can hear a
something
difference, but is it happening?
I can't tell anymore. We deal with so many Canadian people. I just sort of like I don't hear it anymore. Because half of the people that we work with are from Canada, so when they say a boot, I don't really notice anymore. But I think it's really interesting that the Canadian accent is only really hits in certain words.
Yeah.
Certain sounds. Other than that, it sounds just like the American English accent. It's just like, da, 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 and then we were walking down the street and it was a boot. And you're like, wait, what? Like.
That's, I don't hear it, and like I listen to like, and there's so many Canadian actors out there that some people didn't even recognize were Canadian actors, and
Yeah.
they don't say a boot like Ryan Reynolds. He doesn't say a boot, and I don't know, like it sometimes it gets to me, especially because I am a border city. It would literally take me less than 5 minutes to get to the U.S. Like you can see it
Where
almost from my house.
you're somewhere in Ottawa?
No, I'm like South Ontario. I'm close to like Windsor, Detroit region.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you guys know that area, I mean, like the St. Clair River, like there have been people that just swim across it, so it's not that far. I can see the U.S. We were shopping there today. I mean, it
Do you
we're
have to show your passport or something going through the checkpoint?
yes, yeah, we have to go show our passport, but I mean, it's pretty quick. It's definitely not like going to an airport or anything like that. It's extremely quick. We have
Oh,
a ferry that goes across, but it moves at the speed of smell, so it's definitely preferable to use the bridge.
okay. So
But
you just like, hey, passport. Like, all right, you're a person. Go.
almost, and our bridge is actually it's pretty famous at this point. It's been in a few movies now. It was in The Good Child, I think was what it was called.
Oh, the one with Elijah Wood and Macaulay Culkin.
Oh no, that was The Good Son. Um, the one I'm thinking about, it's like I thought it was called The Good Child. No, I'm gonna have to look it up. Damn it.
Alrighty then. Chloe in the chat wants to know if any of us have seen Murder Party, and I have, and I love that movie. That movie's fun.
I um Linda keeps mentioning Murder Party, but I don't think I've actually watched it myself.
Well, clearly you need to watch it now.
Clearly.
That one's a bit of a Halloween horror classic at this point.
Oh, by the way, Lindsay, I gotta ask: have you seen Let Us Pray?
I listened to your guys' stream, and do you want to know the extra detail that may or may not be inappropriate?
Ooh, go for it, please.
I like to listen to longer streams or videos or whatever while I'm in the shower. So I listened to it while I was doing my hair in the shower and whatnot.
So,
But
so, so
I
our
watched.
voice is lathering your hair.
Yes, I thought that it had more body today. I did. Yeah. No, I tried watching Let Us Pray, and I definitely I'm 100% on board with you. I loved the opening of it. I thought as soon as it started, I was like, this looks like it's going to be one to remember. I got so sleepy within like the first 20 minutes, and something happened. I got a phone call maybe or something like that, and I paused it and never went back to it.
Oh, you should finish it. You should
Uh,
finish it. It is definitely like a slow build movie. It's very much like Assault on Precinct 13.
yeah, like I feel like I need to have a few coffees in me or like be like really hyped up, ready for the day. Like it can't just be one of those first ones that I turn on in the morning because
Oh no,
those
no.
ones I need to hit coffee number 3 before I'm 100% there.
Yeah. There's definitely a moment in that movie where it kicks into high gear.
Mm, okay. Well, I liked the live stream, what you guys had to say about it. And you guys started to get more into the spoilers. And I was like, crap, leaving out of the shower, turning it off. I'm like, no, if you like it, I can't hear this.
Yeah, it's really, really good. We watched it again last night, actually. I was finally able to show my wife that movie. She really liked it, which was cool because I thought she would.
Alrighty then. Let's see what else we can find here. Connor Logan asks, question, what's your opinion of the slasher movie The Burning? Also, sick, simple plan burn guru. Thank you, sir. I fucking love The Burning. It's great. I think it's the only horror movie I could think of that is straight up about Cropsy. If there is another one, I'm not aware of it.
I don't.
I think it had something for like the slasher genre that has only now been recognized. Hey, guys, stop barking.
Doggies!
They heard a noise and freaked out. It didn't do as well then. It took maybe it's just my generation, but it took about 20 years for people to really recognize it as a great slasher. And now it has more of a cult following, where when it first came out, it was nothing special to anyone. People just
Most definitely.
Yeah. It was a movie that was very obviously very special to a lot of effects people and a lot of directors.
Well, it has some of the best Tom Savini work in it, next to maybe Maniac.
Yes. Oh, Tom.
Yeah, like anytime you see like a guy hold up hedge clippers, fucking bring him down, that's a shot from The Burning, and that's what they're doing.
All right, Carter Caps asks, what's the technical term for a hand job? Is it assisted masturbation? It's called half-assing it, in my opinion.
It's the technical job is. That's
Is anybody else
work.
reverting to Zack and Miri make a porno? Dutch Rudder. That's all I think of.
That movie's underrated, actually.
It really
is.
Really good movie.
Well, I started to feel that way about most Kevin Smith films, like Zack and Miri On, are very underrated.
Yeah. Well, it all started with Jersey Girl, which I understand why people don't like that movie.
Well, Jersey Girl is an interesting one because it's not a terrible movie. It's just really boring if you're a Smith fan.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a very kind of generic, kind of by the numbers, just kind of feel good movie. But it doesn't feel like a Kevin Smith movie. But some of the other movies that get a lot of trash for him, like Red State or just Zack and Miri in the sense of being ignored, I feel like deserve a little bit more love than they get.
Yeah.
See, I would almost, and I have to explain this, I feel. On the level of Zack and Miri, it's not the same level, but so hard to explain. I'd put it in the same category as, say, Chasing Amy, where if you are a Kevin Smith fan, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be because there's more deeper things. It's very emotional and that sort of thing. Where anyone I can quote Chasing Amy, and I do very regularly, and so many people just don't get it. They're like, that's a movie quote. I don't know what movie that's from. Where if I quote Mallrats, which Mallrats is more widely known by people that aren't necessarily Kevin James fans. And
Kevin Smith, don't mix him up with James. It's a bad idea.
Did I just say James?
Yeah.
You said James, yeah.
Wow. All right, so Iron Maiden beer is good.
Paul Blart Mallrats.
Oh man, that was an awkward connection. That actually happened.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's how it happened.
Well, guys, I'm out. All right.
Okay, Navigator True wants to know. Really, Navigator? All right, Navigator True is asking, who is the best pony? The one lying dead on my porch.
So, how about that guy today? Talk about Blue.
There ain't no ponies here. There are stallions and there are horses which cross the sky and split it like a sheet, causing rivers of blood and skies of fire and pestilence and pain as the fear of God fucking comes to judge all of the unworthy, bringing them to the arms of ever-loving Satan!
So
Ponies
anyway,
know.
So anyway, Ethan Sketches asks, what video was the most fun to make? And I'm guessing that's to all of us. So, horror, do you want to start?
I don't know about the most fun to make. I can tell you which one was one of the most fun ones of mine, of yours that I watch.
Go for it.
But I don't know about making. I loved the I Spit on Your Grave 2-part for you, Jackula.
Thank you.
There you go.
Because there were so many things that you touched on in those videos that I was like, I've tried to articulate that before, but I've never been able to get it across. So from now on, when people have something bad to say about that movie, I'm just gonna like forward them the URL
please.
for that.
The point was to get people to give that movie evaluate it.
Thank you.
Because usually people's opinions of that movie are based solely on the critic reactions, which are so off base, it's criminal. If it like I said at the end, it's like if you don't want to watch it because the movie is too intense, I can't blame you. It is.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's a hard to watch movie. It's not for everyone. That doesn't mean all the criticisms against it are valid, though.
Exactly.
A lot of them are reactionary bullshit, truth be told.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that was not the most fun video for me to make, though. I had to live with that movie in my head for 3 weeks straight, every waking minute of the day. That took a toll. I will not lie. That took a toll.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I really need to do the review of The Woman.
Which, by the way, is a question that is coming up. So, there you go.
Yeah. But let's see. As far as the one that was the most fun, the one that probably comes to mind would be Texas Chainsaw 3D.
I was thinking that one. Like, for me, it was either going to be Texas Chainsaw 3D or Evil Dead in terms of episodes.
Yeah.
Those were probably the funnest for me to work on.
Yeah. It was fun having Sarah on the set and like working with her because she was pretty much up for anything.
Most definitely. All right, let's get to the next question. All right, GL Knight asks, have you guys ever thought of covering something like martial arts horror flicks, like We're Going to Eat You by Sue Hark? Also, outside of horror comedy, what's your favorite genre pairing? And I'm assuming he means stuff like horror and comedy combined or something like that.
Okay, I'm going to field the first part of that question.
Go ahead.
And that is... Wait.
We're working on something.
We're working on something.
Oh.
It's coming. As far as horror comedy, probably either horror comedy or I really like when horror and sci-fi are combined.
Like, there's a movie on the shelf. I was originally going to do it for January, but then Cecil of Good Bad... We need to get Cecil on here, actually.
We can do that next week.
Yeah. Cecil of Good Bad Flicks was gonna review it, so I was like, all right, you're gonna do it, I need to let it cool off for a little bit. And that is Life Force.
The movie that basically defines the Draculons.
Yes. It's essentially the movie that brings together most of what is Count Jackula. And it's got Patrick Stewart in it. And a lot of nudity and a lot of pink lighting.
Oh, Patrick Stewart.
What about you, horror? What is your favorite genre pairing?
I would definitely have to go to horror comedy.
Rock on. Good choice.
But
Solid
so
choice.
many, just even people will call it just a straight up horror, and I will find the comedy in it.
We do that too. We do
Like
that.
even I just posted this on Horrormino actually the other day. I was watching This Is the End, and it's
I love that
actually
movie.
classified as a sci-fi fantasy
That is weird.
comedy or whatever. And I'm like, no, it's a horror.
Comedy.
This
There's
is the end is a straight up
possession.
horror comedy. Like,
Yeah, there's like a demon. There's a devil with, granted, a giant dangler, but
That
absolutely. And
I
at times it
all
borders
of
on a
it.
splatter film.
It. Why are the pages of this magazine sticking together?
God damn it, that movie's so awesome.
Isn't it though? And
It is.
a lot of people agreed with me. And so I think horror is in places that you want to find it, and wherever horror is, I usually find comedy in it somewhere too.
Like I said, like coming back from the Green Inferno, I'm like comedy of the year. Loved the Green Inferno.
All right, Rachel Reviews asks, I have a friend I want to watch the French Martyrs with, but her availability is really tight. Should I watch it without her?
Oh, so neither of them have seen it then.
Yeah.
On one hand, personally, just me as myself, I would say watch it by yourself because the original Martyrs, the French Martyrs, it is so graphic and it hits so close to any female's essentially home or a guy who has somebody that's female that's close to him that he
Yeah. Oh
loves.
yeah.
It will hit you hard, and it can get uncomfortable if you're in the room with somebody else.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
So as a girl myself, when I watched it, like there was a couple times, like the very first time I watched it, I paused it numerous times and just went outside and sat in silence and had a cigarette. Like you just, I
Jack
can't
had the
sit.
same reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was hard.
Like,
So from me, I would say, honey, watch it by yourself, and then even just be a good friend and tell your friend like, hey, you should watch this, or be there for her when she watches it, so you can just be there, like to hold her hand.
yeah, choose to be the explorer of the void, and then watch it again with your friend.
Because it's an experience.
It really is. Like, God, like the thing that got me was that the original main character, the one who escapes, like bears a passing resemblance to my.
I heard
And
that in your review. Yeah.
yeah. So when I watch Martyrs, like I see when we get to the torture sequences, I still have that in my mind, even though it's a different girl. And yeah, watching that happen and having that like kind of big brother reaction it's kind of traumatizing because like if you're a big brother who has a little sister that you take care of at any point in your life, like you just want to fucking murder everybody, but you can't. It's a movie. You're helpless. The movie does that brilliant trick of making you feel as helpless as the victim by the virtue of you being an audience member who cannot interact with the story. And I was like, that is amazing. That is an amazing trick to be able to pull off.
Yeah.
All right.
Can
Rick.
I?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, I have a request of sorts. I have my girlfriend Christy that I was talking about earlier with the haunted house. She just said, Jackula, you need to implement the word sultry somehow in here because she loves the sound of your voice.
Loves the sultry.
She's also sitting there with her boyfriend right now, so.
Well,
Time to make a boyfriend jealous.
Time to make a boyfriend jealous, yet put his lady love in, satisfy his.
There you go, Christy. If
Lady
that
love
doesn't get
sounds
you
really
guys
funny
ready,
to
I don't
me.
know what
That's for
will.
you.
All right, Rick Classic. This question is for Horror. I just saw your video for the top 10 horror hotties. Who would be your number 11?
The female horror hotties, or was it the horror like heartthrobs.
He doesn't
That's what I'm
specify,
wondering.
but I'm guessing since he said horror hotties, he probably means the girl one. But if you mean the guy one, then definitely specify in a subject.
Um, oh, that is hard. Because there is a tiny little part of me, and this is just, maybe it's just the top of my head. Uh, Trish from part 4, Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
There's always been a tiny little part of me that wants to wear like a men's dress shirt with a belt as like an outfit.
Nice.
Having
And
trouble visualizing this. Go on.
All right, Navigator
I don't-
True.
yeah.
Navigator True wants to know, do you have a favorite M.R. James story? And I'm guessing that's to all of us. And I'm not actually, I don't think I'm familiar with M.R. James. Are you guys?
No. M.R. James? Sorry, dude.
Navigator, if M.R. James wrote some stuff that we obviously are aware of and we're just spacing out on who he or she is, feel free to let us know in the chat. All right. Connor Logan. Question: what is your favorite horror movie that takes place in Texas? Ooh.
Really?
There's kind of an obvious one here.
Yeah.
Are you fishing for a certain answer, friend?
Because it's it'd be, I feel like we'd be all cheating on our love of horror movies if we don't say Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh, see, I was
Yeah.
gonna say New York Ripper.
Clearly,
But
that is the correct answer.
A killer that quacks like a
That's it.
duck.
New York
I
Ripper.
think
There you
if
go.
anything, even if it isn't your favorite movie, right now with the recent passing of Gunner, you just have to.
Yeah, most definitely. Rest in peace, good sir.
I actually filmed a video that I never released. I never finished. That was my tribute to Gunnar Hansen because like I couldn't finish the video in a timely manner, but I keep wondering whether or not I should go back and finish it.
I think you should, because I think that you would do it justice.
I don't think it'll matter if it's in the timely manner. Like horror fans will love it and either way.
Okay, I'll finish it then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like even right now, if I saw something for like a Wes Craven, I would
Exactly.
still immediately click on it.
Well, I'll see ones that obviously were made like back when Wes died that will pop up in my recommendation list, and I'll still watch them even though it's been months. You know.
Yeah.
So I say go for it. You know.
Yeah, do it. I'd love to see it myself. So.
All right, cool. I'll finish it then.
Robert.
Go on.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just about to say it might be a while because one of the things one of them is an effects shot, which is something that we've never seen. Because I really wanted a moment that no one has ever seen before, but the effects shot is being really, really tricky. Because you'll understand why when I finish it and show it.
Makes sense.
Hey.
All right, Robert Laidlaw in the chat. Once again, I apologize if I mispronounced that. Does either of you, and I'm assuming they mean all three of us, read horror comics? Example would be Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I used to read a lot more horror comics than I do these days. I have kind of fallen off the wagon, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I read Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I also read Squee. I like Squee a little bit better than Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. I used to read a metric fuck ton of like Alan Moore and Grant Morrison. So actually, it's really funny. Like as much as I like horror and horror comics, the comics that I kept coming back to were always the occult ones.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that were always about like modern sorcery and
like Hellblazer.
like Hellblazer, Kid Eternity.
I fucking love Hellblazer.
Hellblazer's great, yeah. I really wish that television show had been on cable.
Sandman.
Fucking
Most of Preacher, I should say.
Most of Preacher. Yeah, I'm wondering where they're going with the Preacher show. I like everyone who's involved with the production, but I'm not certain how they're gonna make that happen. It's like when Kevin Smith wanted to do Preacher. I'm like, I like everybody you're bringing in, but I'm not sure it's gonna be right with this group of people. But you could surprise me.
Well, here's the way I look at that Preacher show is that even if it's not the Preacher comics, if they at least make a show that I enjoy that may have the same name, I'll probably be okay with it.
Yeah, it's really all gonna depend on whether that guy can at least be a version of Jesse that feels like Jesse. The actor, that is.
Yeah, yeah.
And I will be eternally sad that the one moment from the comic that we will probably never get in the show is when Preacher meets Bill Hicks.
Yeah, yeah. Though, I mean, hey, it might still happen.
Dude, if they could find a way to do that, that would be fantastic.
Look who is doing the show. A bunch of comedians. Do you think they won't like cast someone as Bill Hicks and like?
Oh God, I hope they do. I hope they do.
Like we're talking about people who used to be stand-up comedians making the show. So, yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right, Josh Fielding. Not horror, but has anyone played a Mech Warrior game? Played some really shitty ones back in the day, but I have not played any recent ones. If there's any cooler ones these days.
Nope.
Yeah. I played Mech Warrior, but I'll be honest, man. Shadowrun and Warhammer 40K were my fucking real.
There you go. Mob wants to ask, or Mob asks, not wants to ask. He is asking. Have you seen Das Finstre Tal? You just did that just so that I would mispronounce the shit out of that, didn't you? I see through you, Mob. English translated, The Dark Valley. Have any of us seen that? I have not.
Man, you guys are fucking.
You're making me really look like I don't know anything about horror. Come on, guys.
People in the chat do that, man. Like they fucking bring up shit, and we're like, "What are you talking about?"
Well, here's the thing. Everyone in the chat probably has at least one obscure movie that not a lot of people know about. But because they're all giving it to us at once, it feels like one person who just has more knowledge, but it's actually a collective, you know? But that's kind of what's going on.
But I'm going to tell you this. If it's some kind of creepypasta, that shit don't count. I have never seen... I've seen only one creepypasta where I was like, actually, that was almost a great story.
Have you heard the Pen Pal ones? It was a series.
No, I have that one. I haven't seen.
I'll go out on a limb and I'll say that the Pen Pal ones, but you have to listen to them in order. And by themselves, they're not really creepy, but it's like, in retrospect, a guy essentially looking back on his life, and over like 20, 30 years, these creepy things keep happening to him. But until he starts talking about them, he realizes that they all connect. And it's essentially somebody like following him that first found him when he was like doing a pen pal program when he was in like kindergarten.
Okay, all right.
But it's fun and it's creepy. I like that one, but that's pretty much it.
The one that I liked was one called there was this guy, I linked one of his videos at one point. It's the guy who did the Pig Day video. Pig Day. It's Pig Day. Canada does not celebrate Pig Day. Do not use images of Princess Diana on Pig Day. She is not welcome. It is good to eat the body of the pig on Pig Day. Pig Day. That one was but that one wasn't really intended to be like scary. It was just intended to be. But he did another one called The Rabbits, and that one was almost great. It didn't quite get to the point of like legendary ghost story, but it was approaching it, which I thought was kind of cool. But yeah, I've never really seen a creepypasta that really like got me.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat there. Alrighty then, Patrick Thompson in the chat. If you could choose any horror property that hasn't been made into a TV or movie, what would it be? I'm going to go with TV show here, and I'm going to go with a Netflix show on Nightbreed. That would be awesome.
Yeah. That was going to be my answer. Yeah.
Can I hop on that boat?
Yes.
Hell
that
yeah.
would be
absolutely
fucking fantastic. And if it was on Netflix, they could show.
Yeah, that's why I specified Netflix, yeah.
Well, not everything, but you know what Nightbreed was all about.
Nightbreed
was extremely sensual.
I would be okay with HBO, but I think Netflix would be.
Yeah.
HBO would be fine too, but like Netflix definitely would have be like no holds barred, which is great.
Well, yeah, it would be HBO if all you want to see is women's breasts. But for the women, we would also maybe
Well,
like
then
like
it's got to be a
butt cheeks.
Stars show so that we can see a whole bunch of man butts. There you go.
That's true.
Well, Netflix will show man butt.
It will, but not as much as Stars.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't have
Stars got
cable,
that.
so I don't know.
Well, Stars has Spartacus.
Spartacus versus Game of Thrones. If Game of Thrones is Game of Tits, then Spartacus is Sparta Butts. It's
Yeah. Like it. Sam Raimi in that show does not shy away from the fact that the Greco-Roman era is not known for how it treats the female body. And so he just does it full bore, where there'll be like Lucy Lawless completely topless sitting in a Roman throne asking a man to disrobe so she can respect him. And you're like, surely they're not going to go all the way with this.
look at all those dicks.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
line
Just
of
go out
dicks.
on a limb and just say that even women don't really want to see that on TV and or movies.
I kind of get that.
It depends. It depends. A lot of women I talk to, it's not. They don't want to see flaccid dicks. But
Yes.
if they're erect, then that's a little more exciting.
And it depends on who it's on. Like Channing Tatum.
Yes.
I'd be cool with seeing that. I'm just curious, and I only want to see it once.
No one wants to see Seth Rogen's dick, but Channing Tatum,
Yeah.
there you go.
See, and that I'm thinking of forgetting Sarah Marshall with that other guy.
Oh yeah,
That was,
that scene's so funny. That opening.
but it's awkward.
Yep. Dwight Hubley, Jack or Guru, are you gonna review The Changeling by George C. Scott? I got no immediate plans for that, but it's a really good movie.
Yeah, no media plans, because when you get right down to it, like the movies we tend to do the full reviews on are either the massively underappreciated or the massively flawed. And Changeling is neither of those things. It is very well appreciated, and it is not very flawed at all. It is a very good movie.
Actually, however, because I know that I even have some, like say on Instagram or on my subscriber list that are new fans to horror. And when I talk about The Changeling, I find that there's two totally separate groups. There's the ones that have been diehard horror fans since they were kids, and they know about The Changeling. Where there's new horror fans that maybe have seen, say, Scary Movie, where the ball bounces down the stairs, and I'm like, do you know where that's from?
Yeah.
Because they haven't seen The Changeling. So sometimes it does help when you guys do reviews like that for people who have never even heard of it or know that it exists, because
Most
they're
definitely.
new horror fans.
I think if we did haunted house story, the brief story of the haunting of the ghost story in movies, Changeling would have to definitely come up. I think one of the other ones that I would a haunted house movie that I am more likely to do as a full review, because it is both massively flawed and massively underappreciated, but I love it, is The Entity.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yes. I think it's so much more chilling because, like, this woman is adamant. Like, this happened to me. This is
I spit
like,
from beyond the grave.
Yeah. It's basically the story of a rape ghost. And it's one of those movies where people are like, well, you're just doing this shot for titillation factor. I'm like, well, yeah. It's interesting because, like, to me, The Entity is like a rape fantasy made manifest.
Yeah.
And that's what makes
like,
it really
I'm cool with a ghost. I just don't want a rape ghost.
Yeah.
I want, like, Casper or, like, cheeky fun ghost. Like, that, like, plays, like, practical jokes on me here and there. Like, moves my shampoo bottle out of reach. I'm like, oh, you ghost.
You don't want the one that's going to leave you flowers and...
That would be cool. I just don't want to be in the tub, and instead of, like, moving my razor to the other side of the room does other things that happen in the entity.
Can I throw my hat into the ring that I'd be totally cool with Blowjob Ghost from Ghostbusters?
Okay. That, yeah. All right.
Alrighty then, Galacticus Spartan. What do you wish you had more time to do?
Videos.
Bathing in the blood of my enemies.
Oh, everything.
Oh, well, now you're being creative.
Everything. I wish I had more time to sleep. I wish I had more time to walk. I wish I had more time to go outside. I wish I had more time to think. I wish I had. I would just wish for more time in general.
All right, there you go. Rocked Reviews, you son of a bitch. Rocked Reviews wants to know, what horror films are we looking forward to in 2016? Right now, I'm all about The Witch. Like that's the one I'm really looking forward to at the moment.
I was excited for The Witch, The Boy, and The Forest, all the movies apparently. But now I haven't been hearing such great things about the latter two. So now I've all of my money is in on The Witch now, and if that fails, I mean, it's going to be like Marvel DC year for me, and that's it.
There's probably stuff I haven't heard about yet that's coming out.
Rob Zombie's 31.
Rob Zombie's 31, I'm really looking forward
I'm
to.
so pumped for that, but I don't know if that's going to be out and available to us this year or next year, so we'll have to see. It's just hitting festivals now. The same thing with Yoga Hosers, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, the big problem is... Yeah?
Sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh, it sounded like you were going to ask me a question.
No, I was just going to throw in another one I was looking forward to. That's all.
Oh, go for it.
Oh, I don't know if it's coming out this year, but I have heard that Death House is finally starting production this year.
I haven't heard of that. What is that?
Really?
Yeah, really.
It's the Expendables of horror movies.
Oh, finally. Nice.
Like, everyone is like Kane, Robert, I think it's Tony Todd in there. Like, Gunnar Hansen was writing the script for it.
Called Death House?
Yes.
Look it up. Yeah, I remember hearing about this. I didn't know it was called Death House yet, though. That's cool.
Yeah. So, like, he was writing it with Harrison Smith, who did, like, Camp Dread and 6 Degrees of Hell, those kind of movies. He's a great director, and he's a really great writer, and they were working on it.
How did you miss this, Jack?
I don't know how I missed this.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have Linda and I showed you a link to a story that says, hey, they're doing the Expendables for horror icons?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You have a boner right now, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And not just because Dee Wallace is starring.
Seriously, did you watch Supernatural when she was on there last week?
She was fantastic.
God.
I am shipping her and Dean so hard right now.
Dee Wallace, it doesn't matter how old she gets. I'm watching her on Supernatural going, I'd still go.
I would do her. I would. Yeah. I love Dee. And she's so small too. Like she came up to like my shoulders. And she's so cute.
She's a faith healer apparently.
What's that?
She's a faith healer apparently.
Oh.
Didn't know that, but apparently she is.
Yeah, like Dee Wallace, Barbara Crampton, and Sybil Danning are all like in amazing condition.
Yes.
Nature has blessed them in their old age. All right, Jackie Nebula in the chat. What's better, Let Us Pray or Last Shift? Let Us Pray
is better. Let Us Pray is way better.
Last Shift could have been really good, but that ending.
Oh my God. Horror, did you see Last Shift?
No.
Yeah.
Everything is great until the last 5 minutes. And
that's definitely not one that we got here in my area.
That one was really disappointing because when I say it's great until the last 5 minutes, I mean it is great. until the last 5 minutes, and then it just completely peters out. It's a build up to the best orgasm you've ever had that doesn't finish. And you're like, really? That's it? Like, that's it? Like, we were building up to something so great in Last Shift, and then in the last 5 minutes, you're like, well, that makes sense. That's the way it would end, but that sucks. It's really too bad. So yeah, of the two, Let Us Pray, way better.
All right. I'll keep that in mind, actually.
All right. Kendall Wright asks, do you guys think Batman v Superman is going to be bad? Also, Jack, you said Tim Burton's Batman is better than Christopher Nolan's Batman. Would you explain why?
Do I have to explain why? Okay.
Really? Have you read or watched any of the original?
Fucking Christ. All right.
Like, just watch Batman animated series, like 90s Batman animated series, and then watch Christopher Nolan's Batman, and there's no consistency whatsoever.
I'll fucking tell you why that Tim Burton is the better Batman. One, everyone remembers that ending. Everyone remembers da na 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 na.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers wait till they get a load of me. Everyone remembers, this town needs an enema. Everyone remembers the Joker pulling out the ridiculously big pistol and shooting down the Batplane. Everyone remembers love that Joker. Everyone remembers, honey, I'm home, and you'll never guess what happened to me today. Everyone remembers, like, I made you, but you made me first. Everyone remembers every moment of the fucking Tim Burton Batman. Hell, there are parts of Batman Returns that are seared in people's minds. If nothing else, Michelle Pfeiffer just going, meow. Way more Catwoman than fucking
Anne
Hathaway could ever be.
Mm-hmm.
So, are the Nolan Batman movies bad? No. But are they as good as the Burton movie? No.
Can I say that Nolan's villains were entertaining to me on the level of, like, say, like, the darker like Batman like movies, like Year One, like that's like Batman versus Robin, Under the Red Hood, like that kind of stuff. Like, it's a lot darker. I enjoyed the villains in Nolan's series, like Bane. I did. I loved Hardy in that role, and but they're obviously Heath Ledger did a solid job, but he did it dark, where that's a different world of DC.
Well, here's the funny thing. Back when Burton did Batman, that was considered super dark. Because we hadn't seen that shit before.
Yeah, they hadn't progressed to that very, very dark place quite yet.
And I will
Sorry, you can keep going. I'm going to still look up.
Okay, I was about to say, the one thing I will give the Nolan Batman movies is they are better written. The story flows way more logically, even despite the massive plot holes in Rises. The problem is just because it's well written doesn't make it a better movie.
Yeah.
The Burton movie has got a lot of very distinct style, and that feels like a world. Burton creates a world. It's a world where for some reason it's 1989 and there's still 40 gangsters running around. Who else could do that? Very few people can create a fictional world and make it feel real. Fucking Nolan cheated. He tried to make the Batman world feel like the real one, which was a really good idea, in my opinion, until the third movie. By the third movie, I felt like it was old hat because I actually really liked Dark Knight. But the way I described the Dark Knight and how I felt at the end of it, which is, oh my god, I can't wait to the third movie, because at the end of Dark Knight, if a fucking sewer grate blew open and Killer Croc just stepped out, I would have completely bought it. Because I felt like Dark Knight was a transition from the gritty, realistic Nolan universe to the more cartoonish DC Batman universe, but then he kind of went back on it in Rises. And
See,
I was very disappointed.
when I watch like the Nolan, like it's a trilogy. I think back more like Frank Miller with like Dark Knight Returns and how dark that was, especially with like the jumps and turns that series. It's a like 4-part series that it takes.
Without a lot of the goofiness, actually. Like, it feels way more like Year One than Dark Knight Returns. Like,
Dark Knight Returns takes a bad turn.
Oh, it does. But like, but for lack of a better way of putting it, there's a lot of goofiness happening at the same time, despite the fact that it's so dark. You know, like the gang members themselves, the mutants. As dark as that gets, there's still those two guys going like, Batman nasty, he balls.
Oh, and you're thinking, yeah, like the movie. Like what I bring to mind is like, I think it was like, I was really young, like 1986, I think, was like when the first, and it became like an actual like graphic novel.
Yeah. You're talking about Dark Knight Returns, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Frank Miller when it was originally released, like the actual comic book, not when he renditioned it into a movie essentially.
Yeah. Like,
Because I think when it was in the movie, it was a 2-part, correct?
when they did the animated movie a few years, they kind of shifted up the tone a lot, because the main thing that people remember about the Dark Knight is that it was really, really dark and gritty, which it was.
Mm-hmm.
But what they don't often remember is how silly it got.
Maybe maybe I glossed over my memories of that.
Yeah, go back and read it. There are a lot of goofy
Oh,
moments.
I have it. Actually, I have a signed copy downstairs by Frank Miller. I picked that up for Johnny for Christmas because I'm a good girlfriend. There's so many comments coming in, and we're still just rambling.
Yeah. All right. What's the next question?
Okay. Since you didn't see the thing I put in the chat,
yeah, because apparently I can't see it.
It's right there, right above it.
Oh! Cat Cheap saying Jack's mic is crackling.
Yes. You didn't give me any room to say anything. Every time I tried to speak, you talked over me.
I'm sorry, dude.
It's okay.
Is that a little bit better?
Let me see what the chat says. Alrighty then. Let me find the next question. Oh man, because I was dealing with that, I lost my place.
Oh man.
All right.
So, horror, I gotta ask you, if there was a horror movie that you felt defined your horror fandom, like the one that you're like, no, this was the moment I realized that I loved this, what would it be?
Well, like, it's hard to say because when, like, say when I was little, like my mom always says, Night of the Living Dead was like the first horror movie that I ever saw, like that I was essentially raised on. But when I think of being young and watching horror, I always think of any one of the first 4 Friday the 13th, because we had all of them on VHS and I watched them almost on a daily basis. Oh, here's another one. Chris Steele like this. Dead Alive or Brain Dead. I remember like if my mom would yell across the house at me, because mothers from across the house they call your name. So my mom would yell for me from across the house, and I'd yell back Lionel at her, and stretch it out nice and long. And she'd always come stomping down the stairs, like hands on her hips. Don't you play that with me? And I'd just be laughing. And I'm talking before I even moved out of Piranha, so I was about 4 or 5 years old when I would essentially quote Dead Alive back to my mother. I don't know if there was a moment or a movie that made me realize that I loved horror so much. It was the only thing I enjoyed watching.
Oh, interesting.
So there you go. All right, I got back. I got back to place. Do you want me to start with the questions again?
Please.
All right, the cartoon physicist naughty list. Was Planet Dracula inspired by Transylvania in the Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Yes.
All right. Nana asks, oh wait, nope, not her. Trev Apocalypse asks, what horror subgenres do you wish was explored more? These days, I wish we got more like awesome body horror movies.
Yeah.
My big problem with body horror these days is they tend to be like contracted and they all look and feel the same as opposed to doing like unique things with the body. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, more
I've heard some good things about Eat.
Oh, I don't think I've seen Eat.
I've heard some good things about it.
Eats her own feet, right?
Yeah,
Ooh.
well, just her own flesh, essentially, overall in general, I believe.
Well, I'm gonna have to see that.
Because it sounds kind of like more of an OCD thing than, say, as you brought up, like contracted, which it's more of like a gross out level. This is like a total mental thing, which I think for a lot of different people they can relate on, because a lot of different mental disorders like OCD and like depression and that sort of thing, they can be interchangeable, where they're not interchangeable, that's a bad word, but you can relate when something develops your entire world, that's it controls everything.
Yeah.
That you can see somebody else going through that and being like, okay, I'm not going through the same thing, but I feel what you're going through. I understand that it controls everything.
I suffer from depression, so yeah.
I loved your video on that, by the way.
Thank you.
You nailed every point of it right on the head.
Yeah. I need to see it. What was it? Excision?
Oh yeah, that movie's really good.
Yeah, I have to see that one.
Was that Annalyn McCord? Was that hers?
Let me double check. Yes, that is.
Yeah, that one was good. I enjoyed that one.
Okay, so I'm the only one in the stream right now who hasn't seen Excision. Gotta fix that.
Yes, most definitely. Sean Murphy asks, question, what is the main difference between Draculan vampires and Earth vampires?
Draculan vampires are a little stronger on average. They fly through space in both ships and not in ships. And basically they're kind of like the Earth vampires are very often the retarded cousins of the Draculans. We have fewer of the weaknesses, because, you drop a couple of vampires on a planet, Draculans on a planet, and then they inbreed, and then all of a sudden, like, fucking, like, your tendency to get a bad sunburn turns into fucking you just ignite in the sun. And then you're doing dumb things like having to fucking sleep on the fucking earth of your own grave. Like, come on, guys. Like, that's insane. That's crazy. You don't need to do that. You're just fucking nuts.
Strong feelings about them Earth vampires.
Well, it's just one of those things, man. It's like, I love them the way you like a retarded cousin. You're like, yeah, what am I gonna expect out of you guys? I can't really be that mad.
Alrighty then, Matthew Lane. Do any of you like art house type movies? For example, Holy Motors or Persona? I'm gonna say Jodorowsky films are awesome.
Yeah, Jodorowsky is amazing. Holy Motors, I fucking hate that movie. I fucking hate Holy Motors. Um, the minute the cars started talking, I was like, "That's it. I'm done. I'm fucking done." But even then, I was like, "Well, at least I feel like I understand what the movie was about." Then you start reading interviews with that director, and you're like, I really think that what is happening here is that the internet is destroying our ability to connect with one another, and that is what Holy Motors is all about. And I'm like, you are a fucking idiot. I fucking hate you. Shut the fuck up. Do the David Lynch thing and don't explain shit. It works way better for you. Ugh.
Carter Caps. Oh, actually, that horror. What about you? Art house films.
For anything, oh, I mean, you'd have to essentially, and again, I have to explain myself. You'd have to give me examples of ones that you would
Um,
put into that category, because for me, sometimes maybe it's just because of like my artist background as well, that I see something and I can be like, oh, this is beautiful, that's beautiful, or this is creative, this is telling a subtle story, or and it can go by me, or I just think it's the norm. Where on some other hands, when it comes to horror, I like things being just give me what I'm here for, make it straightforward. Like, just if it's a ghost, make it a ghost. Don't have the ending being like, oh, there's some secret backstory and it's not really a ghost. If you give me like an hour and a half of telling me that it's a ghost, just make it a fucking ghost. I like things straightforward, simple. It's horror. Give me the blood, the gore, the genuine scares. No more of this jump scare crap. Give me genuine scares, creepy elements, and just that's it. I don't need anything else extra.
Yeah, I'm really tired of like this kind of unearned, like sudden scares. I'm like, oh,
Any
come on.
audio essential scares, like you can do that in a comedy, and people will jump. You catch them off guard, they're gonna jump. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's gotta work. You gotta feel like you're not being cheated.
Oh, most definitely. As with most things in a movie, it's got to be earned. At least,
Um,
yeah.
sorry,
Go ahead.
I keep doing that. But no, it's just like I was looking and I saw David Lynch, and I don't know why it made me do this jump, because definitely not David Lynch. Would Suspiria be categorized as art house?
Well, it's definitely one of the more artsy horror films. So,
Yeah.
Because when I think of like gratuitous blood
hmm
in especially opening scenes of movies, I always think of Suspiria and the reddest neon red blood.
oh,
And
another,
that's Italian horror though,
yeah,
in
most
a
definitely.
nutshell.
Another art house I like. I actually really like Von Trier films. They're fucking crazy.
Oh, there's a fire.
Yep.
Yeah, we live by a fire station, so.
All right, Carter Caps. What part of the body, when affected in a horror movie, makes you feel the most uncomfortable?
Oh God, I'll just start
Eyes.
this. Eyes, yes.
Yep, that's it. Don't touch the eyes. Don't go
I
near the eyes.
I can watch a penis get destroyed all day. Like you bring something close to an eyeball, I'm like, oh geez.
Have you watched Would You Rather?
Oh
I
yeah. Oh yeah.
That
Speaking of
that
awesome Jeffrey Combs
messed me
performances,
up. Yes. Yeah. No, that movie. Ugh. I'm not okay with needles, and I'm not okay with eyes, and I'm definitely not okay with needles near eyes.
yep.
yeah.
Uh, nothing, to be honest.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. Have you
Nothing?
ever seen me like a-
No.
actually affected by a body part, like getting
No.
anything in a movie?
No. No.
You've
Wow.
seen a lot of horror movies with me, like
Yeah, no, I haven't actually, now that you mention it. Like I know for me it's eyes with Linda's fingernails.
Ooh,
Um
like Stir of Echoes.
yeah.
That
I'm
that that
sure
one
I'll one
actually,
day
I'll get
discover
on board with
something.
that.
I'm sure I'll one day discover something, but
Yeah,
no.
yeah, you'll find out it's actually like back hair or something.
Something, yeah, I don't know. All right. Just a heads up, we are about like 2 minutes away from going on 2 hours.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we're on.
By the way, everybody else already went out for drinks. So
Oh, okay. So like you're free.
I'm here.
Okay, awesome. In that case, we'll keep going, but I have got to. You know how you had a girl break?
Ladies' room? I might need one too.
Yeah.
I'm very small and my bladder is the size of a walnut.
Just so you know, Linda did not want us to go fat like 3 hours today, so I was actually doing her a favor by cutting us off now.
Oh.
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
we
want to
can
do that into the chat, but
All right. Well, tell you what. Let's go for like let's take a quick break, go for another half hour, and then we'll cut off there.
okay.
All right.
I don't want Linda coming after me.
Yeah.
Our names are too similar. We should be buds.
Yeah, while you were in the shower, she mentioned that you don't go 3 hours or she'll go crazy. So
Okay, cool.
All right, be right back.
hi chat. The stream's still going. I don't know what to do now, so let's see.
Entertain them, sing.
Hey chat, how you doing? I could do that if I was playing a game, but it's just me sitting here. Hi guys. How you doing? Hi chat. I got nothing. Do the time warp. Yes, I could totally do that. Hi Heather, how you doing in the chat? Oh man. Thank you, Rick Classic. I am as much as it was annoying for this to happen, it's kind of freeing right now to not have to deal with my hair. Plus, I get to do this. Whee!
All right.
Welcome to prime time, bitch. That was actually terrible timing because someone asked me to do that in the chat right as you showed up. Sorry.
Wow. I thought that was just like an incredibly interesting welcome.
No, someone had literally asked that. Like,
I see it. Guru, say it in your best voice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Jimmy.
That was awesome.
That was perfectly timed. Did I make it back before Jackula?
Yeah, you made it back before Jackula. You're officially more man than Jackula.
Oh, well, we'll wait for Sits to Pee to come back.
He'll be back. No, truth be told, he's worse than any girlfriend I've ever had when it comes to, hey, we gotta go. Oh no, I gotta freshen up. Are you kidding me, Jack? Really?
Oh.
You're a fucking medieval like vampire guy from outer space, but no, you gotta freshen up.
Actually, you know what? Coming from somebody who is obsessed with makeup and special effects and things,
Yeah.
I want to know what white face paint he uses.
Oh,
White face paint is the hardest thing on the planet.
He uses Ben Nye, I think, is the brand.
Okay.
But it's like he's had it for a long time, and I don't know if they still make it. So
yeah, because like I use the Mehron, or people pronounce it so many different ways, Mehron, but I have the Clown White Light, and then I have the original Clown White. I've tried warming it up. I've tried doing thin layers. I've tried powdering between layers. I've tried using like a beauty blender, like a damp beauty blender to shear it out.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried mixing it with moisturizers. Doesn't matter. After, because like the first layer, it looks good. It doesn't crackle or anything.
Yeah.
But it's not covering, so you have to do a second layer, and then it looks like patchy.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to do a third layer. By the third layer, it just goes to shit. And I hate white face paint. I hate it.
Well, when Jack gets his headphones back on, we can he can explain his face painting process. But first, someone in the chat requested I do this, so welcome to prime time, Jack.
I am. It's good to be here, Johnny. How you doing?
Is your mic on?
I hear him through your mic, I think, Josh.
All right. How about that? How about now?
Okay, there you go.
Okay,
Here
excellent.
we are.
All right, sweet. Alrighty then. I guess we Jack. She had Horror had some questions about face painting. So shoot, Horror.
What white face paint is it that you use?
Ben Nye, face paint, face and body paint. It's the one I use. Apparently, they don't make anymore, but other companies do. It comes pre-mixed, and so you just put it on the brush and paint it onto your face. It's non-grease, so it
Okay.
just stays. Like the problem with grease is when you start to sweat, it runs and it gets really nasty. But
Yeah.
the thing with this stuff is that it stays relatively dry, and also I have a fixative, which is called Final Seal, which is still
Yeah.
sold by Ben Nye, which you put it on the actual like face paint as opposed to grease paint, and it will just it keeps everything dry.
See, I have a problem with getting like the correct opacity to my white face paint without it looking still patchy or looking too cakey and thick.
Yeah. The great thing with the Ben Nye and the fixative seal is like you do one layer and spray it on, and if you need to put on another layer in other areas, you can, and it's just it's just fully opaque. Which is why I like it, and I'm probably gonna have to get a bottle of one of the competing brands at some point. Also, they're completely water soluble, so like when you wash your face, it just like comes off.
Yeah, see, like when I used to do like my quick face painting things. I don't know if you saw any of those old videos that I did.
Oh yeah.
And I used to always just, if it wasn't just eyeshadows that I used, all of the actual paints were, I used just water body paints that were actually meant for like a spray brush.
Yes.
And
This is
I
the
just,
same kind of thing.
I just put it on like a plate and used just a regular paintbrush to paint it on my face. But white was always the hardest one.
Yeah, I don't know why Ben Nye stopped making that one because it's really good. And
A
Ben
lot of
Nye.
people here keep saying Snazaroo is really good because I'm not a fan of the Mayron or however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I don't like either of theirs.
Oh, and one of the ones that said that is Magnaru, who's actually a makeup effects guy. So
Oh,
he knows his
okay.
shit.
I think he might have been the other one that said that Mayron is okay, but to try Snazaroo.
Like the
Yep,
Ben Nye
it
I
was.
know was for a long time the kind of the industry what you used because it looks great on camera, and it stays for multiple hours.
All right, Jimmy Lamb wants to know. Question: if Satanic Jackula and Mass Slasher were stuck in an elevator, what would they talk about?
I'm gonna let you guys handle this one.
Mass Slasher would probably be really, really, really awkward and be like, "Hey." Panic Jacket would probably be like, "Yes. What do you want to talk about? You're not dead."
I feel like they would get into philosophical debates because I don't know if most of the fans know this, but Mass Slasher is supposed to be Jewish.
Yeah. Yeah, in his backstory, there are a whole bunch of like Jewish slasher movies he's supposed to start in.
Yep.
Because like I've always, you ever watch those Christian horror movies? They're really bad. And now I don't mean movies that have like Christian themes in them, because a lot of them do. Like I actually consider Satanism to be like in the kind of Judeo-Christian milieu. But when they try to do horror movies that are specifically Christian, and so I was like, well, what would a Jewish horror movie look like? And when we reveal that, it's actually going to be a little bit of a cheat because it's part of the joke. I'll just say one thing: Mazel chop.
Rick Classic, was Satanic Jackula inspired by the lead singer of Ghost, or is there another inspiration?
He was mainly inspired by Papa Emeritus from Ghost. That was the main inspiration. There are a couple of others in there, but that was the big one.
Mojo Jojo.
Mojo Jojo was another one, yes.
All right, let's see what else we got here. Question for Jack. In your show, there's a running joke about horror movie kids in a classroom with you as the teacher.
Yep.
And you added Sam when you did Trick or Treat as well. Will the classroom grow in later reviews?
Keep watching.
There you go. Ileana Gonzalez. Gotta try and ask this again. What do you guys think was the last great film of Dario Argento?
Ooh. As a writer or
the last great one, I'm probably gonna go with Stendhal syndrome.
Yeah. I would
he's made some okay ones since then, but that one to me was the last great one.
Oh yeah.
No, what are you talking about? Dracula 3D is a masterpiece.
Oh yeah, 10 out of 10.
Oh dear. But however, Suspiria is being talked about being remade. So that could happen over the next couple of years.
How do you remake Suspiria?
I as far as I know, the family is still tied to it.
Yeah.
But so I mean, if the family is being tied to it, and I don't know, it could be good. You never know until it happens. Give it a chance.
The thing I think is so interesting about like the Argentos is I find myself going like, Asia Argento and Dario Argento seem to be really creepily comfortable in
touching
rape scenes and touching each other.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Even when you see them on red carpets, they're very, very close. But Asia, in her own right, is a very, very strange woman. But it's like, it's the most endearing type of strange that you still kind of want to know her. You still want to, like, I want to be friends with her.
Yeah. Yeah, she seems super interesting.
Yeah, like, I feel like she could have a conversation with me, like, to me, that I don't even have to put any, like, vocal input in.
Yeah. You would be at the one at a loss for words.
Yeah.
You know, like, I always feel like at some point in Asia Argento, like, interview, at some point she's going to say, well, we've all fantasized about having sex with our fathers.
No. That's the point where I'm going to punch my new friend in the throat because I'd say that's wrong. You stop that. No more. But I'd have to say, like, I am, because I like I can never pronounce that word, the Stendhal syndrome or whatever.
Stendhal syndrome,
from the 90s. I don't really remember it that much. Like the ones, like the more recent, my God, they're 20 years old now. The ones that I think of, like past, like Suspiria, that sort of idea, is either Demons or Phenomena, which I think, did those come out in the same year?
Something. Well, Demons.
I think they did.
Demons he produced, but is technically a Lamberto Bava film. Mario Bava's.
He did the screenplay for.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, but it was directed by Mario Bava's son, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm going mostly just writing, because Phenomena, he did the story for.
Oh, okay, writing. Okay, got it.
But I mean, like, Jennifer Connelly. So much love for Jennifer Connelly, and Phenomena, like that movie. I remember watching that when I was quite young as well. And there's a couple of scenes in that one that, like the spider, not a fan. Not a fan.
I don't know if you horror. I don't know if you know this, but I know some of the people in the chat do. But there was actually a video game called Clock Tower, which is heavily based on Argento films, specifically Phenomena. And it's one of those movies where a lot of people are like, why does the main guy attack people with scissors in that game? And I'm like, because it's a riff on Phenomena. You know, like, why are there all these random insects? Because it's a riff on Phenomena. Why is the main character called Jennifer? Because it's supposed to be Jennifer Connelly.
I actually, 100%, I don't even think I've heard of that game.
Yeah. It was Clock Tower was a series of horror games in like the late 80s, early 90s. And it was considered one of the first horror games, and it was on the Super Nintendo.
Was there any like reference to our Mr. Pleasance?
Actually, no, there wasn't a Donald Pleasance character.
Aww.
But there was like the little creepy boy with the scissors. And Bugs and Jennifer Connelly and creepy orphanages. So there's a bit of Suspiria in there.
Oh, sorry. I have a comment from somebody who's watching right now.
Okay.
When I was saying with the Suspiria, if the family's connected and that sort of thing, that to give it a chance. Apparently, I need to give Ronda Rousey a chance in the Roadhouse remake. Reprising the role, first off, she can't act. To you, I'm not gonna give her a chance. Whatever, she cannot act whatsoever. And
Gloves off.
you are reprising a role of an iconic actor in a role that, I'm sorry, is for bouncers. This movie is for bouncers. Not a whole lot of female bouncers out there. At least good ones. And I'm probably going to be attacked by so many different other females out there right now. And I'm okay with that. But Roadhouse, really?
Yeah.
And are they going to get, like, that there's so many, like, actors that appeared in that movie that, like, you can't bring those people back.
No, you
And
can't
you
get
can't
Patrick
make
Swayze
that movie.
again.
Well, and actually, is Kelly still around? But like Sam Elliott, like, would he even come back without Patrick? I'm not sure if he would. And like Jeff Healey's gone. Jeff Healey was such an amazing, like, just kind of like a side note to that movie. But you're never going to have that again. And it won't work. Rhonda, I don't care what you say about her body or her game or whatever the fuck. Watch 5 seconds of her in, like, Fast and Furious 7 and tell me that she can pull off a even, like, 80-minute movie. She can't.
Ooh, shots fired.
Alrighty then.
She can come knock me out. Whatever. Rhonda,
And that's the bottom
go ahead.
line, because the horror horse said so. Alrighty then. Rick Classic has a question that is thrown right at Jack. Jack, what do you think of Rodimus Prime, and do you think he got a fair shake?
I feel like Rodimus Prime was a character who came in at the moment he was needed, but unfortunately he was needed at the time when he was going to get the worst chance, which was he's following up Optimus Prime. How do you follow that up? That's like following up George Washington. Like no. That's going to be rough going, and the odds are stacked against you. But even given that, I feel like he got a raw deal. I feel like he was a leader who was not ready to lead the Autobots. But when they do that thing where Rodimus Prime meets Optimus Prime in like non-G1 stuff, for me it always works. You're like, yeah, this guy's a very different kind of leader. Like Rodimus Prime is kind of a guy you probably want in the field. You know, like doing something that's not quite as super important. You know, the guy who leads leads B team. You know, pretty solid. Generally knows what he's doing. You know, he's going to take certain risks, and those risks are probably more important when you're like, you know, doing the backup shit. Like, oh no, we gotta do this. We gotta do this for Optimus. So yeah, I feel like he didn't get a fair shake, but he wasn't Optimus Prime, and that was obvious.
All right, there you go. You heard it from the Jaculon's mouth. Jaculon, whatever. Jack, we're gonna have to kill Charlie of RBG Productions. We're gonna have to kill him dead. Do you know why?
Did he mention the Martyrs remake?
No, but he asked us a very specific question in the chat.
What's my favorite horror video game?
Yes.
The one where I fucking murder you and skull fuck your family. That's my favorite horror game.
We know where you sleep, Charlie.
Yeah, we have your motherfucking address. It'll only take us 7 hours to get there.
Where we'll find you, and we will end you.
I have a very specific set of skills. I will use them.
And his dick has a separate set.
In many ways, yes.
All right, Connor Logan. Question: who is a face in horror you truly look up to?
God.
There's way too many.
But actually, horror, why don't you start with that one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, dear Lord. I mean, Danielle Harris.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, solid, just in the part that some of the movies that she's done have not been that great. But,
oh yeah,
with the exception of, like, Wish Upon a Star, she's pretty dedicated to the horror genre. But for long-running and quality type films, maybe D.
D. Wallace?
Yeah, I mean, she's so good. Like, even, like, think of Cujo. She's cheating on her husband, for crying out loud. If that's somebody that, like, lived next door to me, I'd hate that woman. But you love her.
Yeah.
Through the entire movie, and you're rooting for her. So, and that's 100% just D. I love her, and she's continued to work, and she has a passion for it, and she's so happy to meet her fans, and it's not a job for her. This is something that she is truly in love with.
Yeah, it's not a chore. She's kind of taking the position that the original Mama Voorhees used to have. Did you ever meet her like at a convention or something?
Sorry, D?
No, not D.
No.
Wallace. I'm a little drunk, so I'm spacing. The original Mama Voorhees.
Oh, no, never got the chance.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe her other than she was like every horror fan's grandma.
Yeah, Grandma Horror. Yeah,
Grandma
pretty much.
Horror. You know, she was so great.
Betsy Palmer.
Yeah, like she loved the fact that she was Jason's mother. And every time you'd see her, she'd just be like, "Oh, hi, dearie. How are you doing? Are you being
Oof.
And yeah, she had that perfect amount of like, you know, like grandmotherly love and creepiness, you know, that just made her a complete hit at every show. See, me, who do I look up to? That would have to be guys like John Carpenter and Dan O'Bannon. I idolize guys like that. Guys who are just able to Dan O'Bannon, for not only his skill but his balls. Like, that man would write what he wanted and what he thought the audience would want, and he would make no apologies. The only time he would apologize is if he felt that he had sold the audience short. He was not afraid to do what he wanted. He was only afraid that he would fail. John Carpenter is such a great visual storyteller that who wouldn't want to emulate that man? You know, who wouldn't want to be a John Carpenter?
Yes. Yeah.
His imagination is just like wild and off the charts. But if we talk about like an actor I would like to be, to me it would be a toss-up between three men. Robert Englund, Kane Hodder, and Derek Mears. Like, I really look up to those guys. For Robert Englund for his acting ability and his ability to capture a truly nasty, ghoulish character. Kane Hodder for his ability to just be physical.
Mm-hmm.
And Derek Mears,
because you have to.
Yeah.
He makes me look like 5 foot.
Kane Hodder.
Oh no, Derek Mears.
Oh
Kane,
yeah. Oh
Kane
God.
is only a couple inches taller than me.
Okay. How tall are you?
I'm like 5'10", 5'11".
Okay. So
yeah,
what you're
Kane's
saying
only
that,
like 6'3", but Derek Mears is a monster.
Yeah, he's huge.
Yeah.
He's huge. And he's got that same thing that like Mick Foley has, which is you meet him, he is the nicest guy in the world.
You've met Mick Foley?
I've but I've seen Mick Foley in action. I didn't get to meet him. It's one of those things where like I saw him from across the con, and just the way he's dealing with people, you're like, oh man, I wish I could be that awesome, you know.
Yeah.
But Derek I have met, and he has that same ability to just be super nice to people, you know.
Hey, Jack. I think we've kind of almost lost Josh.
What?
He hasn't said anything in a while.
Well, I've had no room to speak, so I've just been letting you guys go.
Oh. Sorry.
Yeah. How about you, dude? Who do you look up to?
The entirety of the Splat Pack.
Oh man,
James Wan, Eli Roth, Adam Green, Neil Marshall, like those guys to me made the horror movies, and Alexander Aja, all kind of made the horror movies that I consider to be like my generations of horror movies. So like,
yeah.
So they mean a lot to me, and I looked up to them as growing up and as, you know, as an adult now. So there you go, the Splat Pack. Alrighty then. Ronan, hey Guru, Jack, horror. Did you guys ever watch Power Rangers? I actually did as a kid. I watched up until about Galaxy, and then I realized I had gotten way too old for it, and it just wasn't for me anymore. But that happens with kid shows sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
I've watched for me, the Power Rangers, I watched the odd episode until like episode 2 when they first changed the cast. Watched a few more of those, didn't really go back. But I will say this, the original Power Rangers is an amazing show if you're tripping balls. It's
I can see that.
Amazing. You know, like you're high, everything is kind of fucked up, and all of a sudden you turn on the TV and you see Rita Repulsa go, "Ah! After 10,000 years, I'm free. It's time to conquer Earth." And you realize there's a beautiful economy of storytelling right there in that moment. After 10,000 years, I'm free. It's time to conquer Earth. Stakes are established in 5 fucking seconds. That's gotta be a record.
Apparently they're remaking Power Rangers. And,
yeah, apparently they're making a live action movie of some kind.
Speaking of Zach and Miri make a porno, now I can't remember her name. Somebody else will come in and tell me her name, I'm sure. The main, Miri, is going to play Rita, apparently. which I'm not sure how that'll do, but
I feel like you
Okay.
gotta have an Asian woman play Rita, otherwise it ain't
Right?
gonna be right.
And I feel like if they do put like a Caucasian woman in that role, it will be kind of that moment where you're like, what? Now, what you're trying to essentially just white plaster this entire movie?
Yeah,
That
like
there was something about the original Power Rangers, that there was different races and backgrounds that made
yeah,
it
they were the multicultural
approachable.
pals.
Yes. Elizabeth Banks, that's it.
I feel like they probably should have. If they could get Rita Repulsa and you need an American actor, you probably should have gotten like Lucy Liu.
She would have been okay. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head I would choose, but
Even
I could
Lucy
see why they
Lawless
went
might
with
be
Elizabeth
better.
Banks, but I really felt like it should have been an Asian girl.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
Actually, Lucy Lawless, yeah, she might have been able to do that as well.
Well,
That might have
she
been an
does,
exception.
but she's got like bone structure for days. So because of like the headdress that Rita
Yeah.
wears,
Yeah.
she might be able to, but yeah, no, I do feel that you do need an Asian woman.
All right, Mob in the chats asks, "Do you guys know Brick by Ryan Johnson?" I actually really love Brick. That's an awesome movie. I also like Ryan Johnson in general. I'm looking forward to his Star Wars movie.
No.
Yes. Yeah. I haven't seen Brick, but I know of it. I really like the idea that was one of those movies that I had always intended to see and then just didn't.
Just a heads up, we have officially reached 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. I don't want to have the lady, the missus, upset.
Oh
Yeah.
well, she's asleep at the moment. So if we,
But still,
I'm
you
sure
don't
we
wanna
can at
sleep
least.
alone.
I agree, but we could at least let's get through 2 more questions. Finish this one up, do 2 more, and then we'll call it. So
Sounds good.
How about you, horror and Brick?
No, I've never even heard of it, I don't think.
Oh, it's really interesting. It's a movie set in a high school, but it's all done entirely like a 1940s film noir film. So it's like a high school whodunit, but like done as a film noir. It's really clever and interesting.
Interesting. Now, like, is there a place that you can find this movie, or like where do you get it?
It was on Netflix. I don't think it's on Netflix.
American
anymore.
Netflix, though, right?
Yeah. You might be able to find it on Amazon Instant, like, and rent it, probably. Alrighty then. Robert Laidlaw. Is there a horror movie remake that you think is on par or even better than the original? Also, Guru didn't butcher my name, so props to you. Wow, that says how long that was. That question was there. Horror remake that is on par or even better than the original. The Thing, I think, is a better movie than the original.
Now that's the John Carpenter versus the Howard Hawks.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Versus
Absolutely.
the very original, yeah.
I would say a more recent one would probably be Evil Dead.
Oh, hell yeah. I love Evil Dead.
Yes, I'm on board with Evil Dead, because it was on par. I wish that there would have been more Bruce.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, sorry, there would have been more Ash.
The thing is that I'm fine with those movies if they continue to make those movies not having Bruce, since now we have the Bruce show, so don't really need him.
I still want more Ash Williams. I do.
Fair enough.
I need more Ashley J. Always more Ashley J. But that's pretty much the only time I like Bruce. He just, Bruce Campbell encompasses everything that Ash is. So when I see him in something else, like my girlfriend, she always tries to get me to watch him in anything else. And I'm like, no, it's not Evil Dead. No, not Evil Dead.
Well, someone needs to see Bubba Hotep.
No, I haven't watched it, and I don't want to. He is Ashley J, and that's it.
Oh, you might need to make an exception for Bubba Hotep.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I can't. No.
He plays Elvis.
Oh, and now I'm supposed to shut my dirty whore mouth. Because I just said that. My girlfriend that wants me to watch everything else. She's listening right now.
Well, there you go.
Well, fine. Whatever.
right.
I love Bruce. I've touched Bruce, so there. I didn't touch him with my dirty whore mouth, but
All right, so we got 2 questions coming up. One of them specifically to me, so I'm gonna answer that and then get to the next one. Guru, serious question: how does it feel to be bald? Is it comfy? It actually is really comfy. GL Knight, Clock Tower. Why isn't that a movie? Well, I have good news for you.
There is a movie. It's called Phenomena.
Yes.
It's by Dario Argento. Go watch it.
Alrighty then, and with that, I think we can probably wrap this up. Save any more questions for Jack and I for future streams. But if you have more questions for Horror, feel free to go to her channel on YouTube and ask them there. I'm sure she'll be happy to answer them.
Yeah, or follow her on Twitter. Go ahead and plug your Twitter and your channel.
yeah, my Twitter is just at that horror whore, and I think you can just look on YouTube at like just that horror whore. You can find me on YouTube or just horror whore. On Instagram, I am that horror whore. Facebook, that horror whore. Pretty much everywhere you can find that horror whore, except horror amino. I'm just horror whore. I've said that a lot now. One more time, horror whore.
Horror.
Once more with feeling.
Oh, that makes me think of Buffy.
Exactly.
Best episode ever.
That was my favorite episode too.
Right? I watch it all the time.
Yeah, people are like, they're doing a musical Buffy episode. I'm like, that sounds like that's gonna be bullshit. And I watch it, I'm like, this is great.
Even the other day, Eric commented on one of my videos, like, bow down to, like, the horror goddess or whatever, and I said, like, and you'll be my king, but then I had to extend king, because I was thinking, and you'll be my queen, where he's singing to Dawn, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh, damn it, I have a problem. I need to stop watching Buffy.
Alrighty then, Jack, take us out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are glad to have you watch us tonight on the Count Jackula stream. I just now noticed that the date in the upper left-hand corner is completely off. And
Yes.
that's the kind of, and I just want you to know that this is the kind of beautiful and precise professionalism that one can fucking expect from the Count Jackula stream.
God damn it.
Your hair looks so great.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
However, I did tell you that that's why you forced me to shave the side of my head again.
I saw that. I saw when you had the design.
Yeah.
That looked great.
Thank you.
Looked really great. Do you have any? Can you give the audience a preview of what your next video is going to be?
I have 2 reviews that are coming up. I have one for Curve, which was suggested to me, and it's now I can't even remember her name, Julianne Hugh or Huff or Huh or whatever the hell her last name is, and Kill Katie Malone, I think is the other one. I got it in my horror pack, so people told me give it a shot. I fell asleep the very first time I watched it when it first came out a few years ago, but I got it free in a horror pack, so I decided to give it a shot. And for my thoughts on that, you'll just have to wait for the review. That's pretty much it. Cool.
Nice, wonderful. And with that, Fright Nights and Monster Girls, bid you adieu. Take care. Watch yourselves, and remember always, keep it real. Good night, everybody.